Hello, I'm Vince Davis. Many parents walk into my office believing that 50-50 custody is a constitutional right or a guaranteed starting point in California. They believe the court starts with a clean slate where both parents get equal time. But the reality of California family court is much more complex than you think. In California, judges aren't bound by a 50-50 mandate. Instead, their decisions are guided by one singular principle: the best interest of the child. Family Code Section 3011 lists the factors a judge must consider, starting with the child's health, safety, and welfare above all else. One of the biggest factors is stability. Courts want to maintain continuity in a child's environment, which often favors the primary caregiver. If one parent has been handling the majority of school runs, medical appointments, and daily needs, a sudden shift to 50-50 might be seen as disruptive. The myth is that the law requires equal time. The truth is that the law requires frequent and continuing contact with both parents, but frequent doesn't always mean equal. A judge might decide that frequent contact means every other weekend and a midweek dinner rather than a full week-on, week-off schedule. Crucially, California law includes a presumption against custody for a parent with a history of domestic violence or substance abuse. Under Family Code 3044, if there's a finding of domestic violence within the last 5 years, the court is essentially barred from awarding joint custody unless that presumption is rebutted. High levels of conflict between parents can also derail a 50-50 request. If you can't co-parent or communicate effectively, a judge may rule against joint physical custody. Judges look at how you treat each other. If one parent is consistently hostile or uncooperative, the court may award primary custody to the more cooperative parent. People also ask about the child's preference. In California, if a child is of sufficient age and capacity, typically 14 or older, the court must listen to them. While the judge isn't required to follow the child's wishes, their input carries significant weight in the final determination of a custody schedule. It's also vital to understand the difference between legal and physical custody. You might get 50-50 legal custody, but not 50-50 physical custody. Legal custody is about decision-making, health, education, and welfare. Physical custody is about where the child actually lives day to day. Practicality often trumps preference. If parents live 50 miles apart, a week-on, week-off schedule becomes impossible once the child is in school. The court won't force a child to endure a 2-hour commute every morning just to maintain a 50-50 split. The child's routine and sleep come first. A common mistake is assuming that fairness to the parent is the court's priority. The court doesn't care about what's fair to you. They care about the child. When you walk into court demanding your rights to 50% of the time, you might actually be signaling to the judge that your needs come before your child's. To get the custody you want, you need evidence. You need to prove how your presence and schedule benefit the child's daily life and development. Documentation of your involvement is key. Keep logs of your parenting time, your communication with the other parent, and your engagement with the child's school. In complex cases, the court may order a 730 evaluation. This is where a mental health professional investigates the family and makes a recommendation. These evaluators spend hours interviewing parents, children, and teachers. Their reports often become the blueprint for the judge's final custody order. Before you ever see a judge, most California counties require you to attend mediation through Family Court Services or FCS. The goal of mediation is to help parents reach an agreement themselves. If you can agree on 50-50 there, the judge will almost always sign off on it. But be warned, in many counties, mediators are recommending mediators. If you don't agree, they will write a recommendation to the judge that carries immense weight. If the mediator thinks 50-50 isn't right for your child, fighting that recommendation in open court is an uphill battle that requires skilled legal representation. Preparing for custody starts long before your court date. It starts with every text message you send and every school event you attend. You need to build a narrative that shows you are a stable, involved, and cooperative parent who puts the child's needs first, always. If you already have a custody order that isn't 50-50, changing it requires proving a significant change of circumstances. This could mean a parent moving closer, a child getting older, or a significant shift in the child's needs or the other parent's ability to care for them. I've spent nearly 40 years navigating these courtrooms. I've seen how judges think and how different counties handle these sensitive cases. Every county in California has its own local rules and culture. What works in Los Angeles might not fly in Riverside or Orange County. Don't walk into court unprepared and assuming the law is on your side for 50-50. You need a strategy that addresses the judge's real concerns. Your strategy should be about your child's success, safety, and stability. That is the only language the family court truly speaks. In summary, 50-50 is a common goal, but it is never a guarantee. It requires work, evidence, and a deep understanding of California law. If you're facing a custody battle, don't leave it to chance. Call us now at 888-888-6582. I'm Vince Davis, and we are all in this together.